Hey folks, my name is Brad Martin, and a few weeks ago I was doing research on some good places to go metal detecting up here in the mountains of Vermont, and I found this place. It used to be an old home up here in the middle of nowhere. I reached out to the landowner, asked permission. He said yes, but he said that a few people have beat me to it. He's given permission to others to metal detect here in the past. The good news is this place is old, middle to the end of the 1700s. So hopefully the folks that came before me left me a few things to find. I'm gonna get my metal detector out and get started. Well, I just got a pretty loud iron tone, and it appeared to be stuffed up under this log. And it's a very old knife blade. You can see this would have been inserted into the handle. Obviously this is the blade, and it looks like maybe it was a table knife more than it was like a hunting knife or something used for work. But that's interesting how if this log wasn't here, it would have been on the surface. I wonder if people who've been metal detecting here before me found this and decided to get rid of it. I think this is great. Almost certainly late 1700s, and it's in relatively good shape. I appreciate stuff like this. Well, this was a very, very faint target, and it was deep, and I got a little bit excited. I rushed to get the camera out because I thought maybe it was a small silver coin. Upon closer inspection, it is a tiny little tombac button. But judging by how deep it was, it's likely why the folks before me missed this. And it's got me optimistic about what else we might find here today. Okay, well, I just got a little piece of brass here. You can probably see it was folded up, and I unfolded it. I can't tell if it's folded again. I think it is. Yeah, it is. I'm fairly certain there's an image on there, but it is actively falling apart. So I'm not really sure what to do with this. It looks like this is all there is. This top part isn't folded. Those blue jays are really upset with me being here for some reason. It looks like it was in the shape of a teardrop. I'm not going to attempt to clean this up out here. I'm going to put this away. But I'm fairly excited about it. I don't know what kind of image would be on there, and also what this may have been affixed to, since it is so thin and small. Little brass ornament of some kind. Really interesting. Alright, well, I don't know what I have here. I got a mid-tone on the metal detector. I dug the hole, found a couple nails. Ah, darn it. Filled it back in. Double checked it, it was still down there. Opened it back up again, and all I've seen is a piece of faceted stone. It might be glass, and I found one of these in the past. It was a piece of glass, and it was bound in silver. I haven't looked at this one yet. I don't know if it's brass or silver or gold, if it's a gemstone or if it's a piece of glass. We're gonna take a look at it together. So this is as much as I've seen. It does look like the stone is yellowish. Leads me to believe it's probably glass. What do you think? Is that bound in silver? Oh, it's a button. Wow. It's a button. The other one I found it appeared to be a part of a bracelet or something. I'm gonna get some water. So yeah, it's definitely glass. There's actually bubbles in the glass. And actually, I don't think that it's bound in either silver or brass. I think that's a pewter, which speaks to its age. It's definitely from the colonial times. Man, well, that is absolutely one of the most unique buttons I've ever found. Very, very old, beautiful glass button. And now that I'm looking at it, it appears to be damaged. Perhaps that's why they tossed it, or maybe it was damaged while it was being lost. You can see this top corner up here is chipped, and the perimeter of the housing here is bent in as well. This is certainly one of my favorite things I've found recently. So unique, such a surprise when I saw that glass in the hole. I'm so glad I didn't walk away from the hole when I thought it was nails. So one of the first things I look at when I'm at a new place and trying to judge exactly how old it is the nails. And you always find a lot of nails. They're absolutely everywhere around the footprint of the building. And I just found a nail that you're usually hoping to find. This is what folks call a rose head nail. You can see that that's actually where a blacksmith hammered it into shape. This is going to be colonial times. This is what we're hoping for. So this is an excellent sign, and this is actually a nice looking nail. This is a display piece nail. It's not bent or anything. So it's cool. We'll throw that in our bag and, you know, see if we can find some more things from this time period. Perhaps more exciting than a nail. Well, most of the time when I find pieces of iron, it's unidentifiable, most of the time. And I just found this a moment ago, and I thought, well, it looks like a hook, but who knows for sure. And then I just found this not too far away, which certainly is a hook. And I'm wondering if this is a design or if that's twisted, you know, broken. Now, we see these types of things in the woods all the time from logging up in here, but I am on the edge of the cellar right now, so I am going to venture a guess to say this was part of horse tack, or perhaps part of a wagon. It's clearly hand forged. A blacksmith made this with a hammer and an anvil, and for that reason alone, I find these things super interesting. Probably going to try to bring this home and clean it up, and I could nail this to my wall and, I don't know, hang my backpack on it or something. Really cool old hand-forged hook. Maybe a rope went through here and it was made for pulling something, but that's not what I'm going to use it for. So I have a great find here and kind of an interesting place. Maybe you can see there's a bit of a bank right here, some trees growing right on the edge of it. And it makes me wonder if this little bank was here at the time of the losing of this item, or if this is kind of a new feature from frost heaves or whatever. But in any case, I typically wouldn't find this because there's just a little bit of extra energy to pick up the metal detector and go along sideways along these banks. But it's been slow today, decided to do it, and I got a cool little fragment of a Colonial shoe buckle. Now I will, double check the hole, make sure there isn't more of it in there. And it's hard to tell whether this is a shoe buckle because it doesn't have the pinholes or really any of the rest of it, such a small piece of it. But I can tell because of the design. I've found many of this design in the past, and I'm confident in saying that that's what that is. It would have been on the shoes or boots of a person walking around this home area, late 1700s, possibly the very early 1800s, and they very often broke. I have a very small collection of 100% complete shoe buckles. The majority of them are just fragments like this. So like I said, I'll double check the hole. If there's more of it, I'll let you know, but this is a find that always gets me excited. Really, really nice. Well, today is a beautiful, cool fall day, but for years, I've come up into the mountains to go metal detecting or go on adventures in all kinds of terrible weather. In the past, I would just wear blue jeans and a thin jacket or hoodie, and if I got wet, I'd be wet for the rest of the day. I'd wear holes in my knees and my elbows, so I can't tell you how great it's been this last year to be wearing Revolution Race clothing up here, and how glad I am they decided they wanted to sponsor today's video. The hoodie that I'm wearing is the mustard colored tornado model, and it's absolutely perfect for the type of weather we're having today. Not too hot, not too cool. All of the pockets on the front of this hoodie have zippers to keep my cell phone and my car keys secure as I'm hiking through the forest, and this thicker, more rugged material on the shoulders makes it perfect for wearing a backpack. The pants that I'm wearing are my absolute favorite. I have 3 pairs in different colors. These are the jet black GPX Pro pants. I'm getting down to my knees to dig holes at least 100 times a day, so the whole front panel of the legs is a thick, rugged material which is going to last for years. The bottom cuff actually has a hook which will latch onto my shoelaces and keep that from riding up. And if I feel like I'm getting a bit overheated out here, on the sides of the legs there are zippers which, once opened, exposes a mesh vent which will cool me right down. If you're interested in picking up some Revolution Race clothing, I have a link in the description below this video and a coupon code for my viewers, which is GMMD15. It's going to get you 15% off from November 12th through November 16th. All right, let's see if we can find a few more treasures today. Alright, well this should be interesting. I'm fairly certain that the target is iron, but it is underneath this rock. You can see how big it is in relation to my hand here, and it's underneath it that direction. So we're going to dig it up together here. As I said, I think that it's going to be iron, but you know, why is it under a rock? Well, we're going to find out. There we go. Oh yeah, there it is right there. Can. Is it full of coins? Afraid not. Oh well, that was exciting for a moment. So the question is, was that can buried under that rock 100, 150 years ago? Or people metal detecting here found it, didn't want to find it again, and stuffed it under a rock? I'm going to guess the latter, unfortunately. I'm going to take this out with me. You never know, right? That seems like it would have been a good place to hide a can of coins, I think. Maybe next time. Well, I have kind of an interesting piece of iron here. I don't have any idea what it is. At first, when I pulled it out, I thought that it was going to be like a pin or a nail because of the head on it here. But it's flat, and it has this shape to it here, which leads me to believe that it's part of some kind of machine or mechanism. This part does seem to be broken off. Not sure. Something in the home or part of a piece of farming equipment. It's interesting. Anyways, I'm going to hang on to it just in case it's something interesting. Let me know what you think it might be. Well, I just found a thing. At first I thought it was going to be a shell casing, but it's not. We have to assume that this is of the same time period as everything else I'm finding here, so we have to assume it's from the 1700s. But I just have absolutely no idea what this could be. I mean, it's full of dirt. I don't know if there's something else in there. It looks newer. I mean, it looks newer than Colonial times, but I don't know, 30 feet from the home foundation. Now, there are more targets down here. I think that they're probably going to be iron, though. Let me dig up a couple and see what they are. Don't know. Let me know your thoughts, because I am drawing a blank on that one. Well, I'm still working on this hole here. Whatever it is like right there, but before we do that, every once in a while, digging up a hole, you find pottery or glassware or whatever. And especially at these colonial sites, I've never seen anything like what I just found here. Look at that swirl of brown and white. That is really, really unique. Backside's nothing. I wonder if it was like a cup. Must have been a cup, right? That's worth keeping for sure. Let's see what this piece of metal is. It's not very high. It's probably a button or junk. But Actually, I think it's a coin. Well, that was a surprise. Again, on the machine it didn't sound very high, like a button, and it's very thin. I guess it could still be a button. But let's take a look at it together here. No, now that I'm holding it, it's definitely a coin. It feels thick enough. This side, though, does not look very good. And neither does this side. It's really interesting, all of the different varieties of copper coins folks had floating around in their pockets here in the colonies back in the 1700s. You can find British coppers, sometimes Spanish coppers, obviously the early state coppers, and they were all made out of just slightly different percentages of copper, and sometimes they just fall apart in the ground. Sometimes they come out beautifully. Yeah, unfortunately this one is absolutely unidentifiable as of this very moment, but in any case this is 100% an old coin, more than likely from the 1700s. Right at the end of the day too. Good note to end the day on. Alright folks, well I have dug my final hole for the day. I've packed all my stuff up, ready to hike out. And you know, this is my favorite type of place to metal detect. Not a whole lot of undergrowth on the ground. We're in a little bit of a pine forest here. Absolutely beautiful fall day, and the things that I'm finding are almost all the 1700s, colonial period. You just absolutely never know what you're gonna find. Today, I didn't really find a whole lot, but the things I did find are some of my favorites. Got it all out on a log here. Let's check it out. All right, and so this is my little pile of treasures for the day. Starting from the back, we have the knife that it seems somebody else discarded. Big old iron hook. Whatever this is, let me know what you think on that one. This is a piece of melted brass. Got a couple little musket balls, a rivet, pieces of spoon, a rose head nail, 7 standard flat buttons. They're only tombac and pewter. The pewter ones are all just absolutely falling apart and crumbly, but the tombac ones are in nice shape. Decorative brass, who knows what. I did have a chance to clean it up. It doesn't seem like there is an image on it. It's just all those decorative lines, but not sure what it was, but it was meant to be pretty, I think. Got my little piece of glass. Never seen anything quite like that. I'm gonna hang on to it. A couple pieces of shoe buckle. I did find another piece of it in that same hole. A copper, which I'm fairly certain I see a Britannia on the back of, so it's probably either British or a state coin. And then last but not least, my favorite find for the day, the small glass and pewter button. Seems to be damaged, but the shank is still there, and the stone is still in the setting. Alright folks, well there aren't a whole lot more of these warm fall days left. I'm going to get out as often as I can before the snow starts to fly. This is the first of my videos that you've seen. I post one of these every single Friday, so if you liked what you saw, consider subscribing to see more. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next week.